Welcome one and all to another episode of the Armchair Analysts podcast. I am your host, Johnny. With me always is my trusted associate,
Ace.
Big Ace in the house. Happy New Year. Hope everyone got home safe, didn't do anything too crazy, or you did. 2020 was a weird year, so I got turned. It was a lot of fun. I went to bed like around 3-ish, woke up like 11:30 the next day. I was rough. It was
I was going to say, when's the last time? I thought I was up late till about 1:30, but dang.
Yeah, it was a good time, though. It was a good time. But we're back in action. Work week's half over. It kind of feels good to get back in the schedule. Like, having those two long weekends back-to-back. Like, I mean, everyone was checked out during those weeks, I feel like. But we're back into it.
Especially working from home, too. You can tell.
You're blurring the line so much already, and then to have that set up too, it was I get it, but we're back in the swing of things. We're recording again. Happy Wednesday. I don't know. We have a ton of stuff that happened. We had college playoffs coming into play. We had actual NFL playoffs coming into play. A lot of good stuff. We got playoff matchups to look forward to now, but. I don't know. It's going to be a big show, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We had some more things maybe happening on my side of the Mississippi than yours, one would dare say.
More that we'd probably like to talk about, I'd say. Yes.
There's more
positivity going down there right now.
Yeah.
Although, hey, one bright spot, the governor today opened up restaurants and bars next Monday. How about that?
100%?
No. I was slightly being facetious, but...
Yay, optimism. Yeah, cool. Before we get into everything, though, I'd just like to remind anyone who's not already, please check us out. Give us a follow on Twitter at a podcast. We're going to have an opportunity for you guys to reach out. We have something that needs to be determined by someone other than me. In the vein of a quick 6 prop bet loss for Mr. Ace over there. And wherever you can, please check us out. Give us a review, follow, share, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you listen, and also on the YouTubes, because that's what we're doing. We got webcams for a reason, right? So,
yes, sir.
Rundown right now. We got my Random Rant. We'll do the Regional Roundup, covering everything Packers, Badgers, MLS.
I even gave you the Soundbite of the week, too. God dang it.
Right? Yeah, you did. We have a few stories we want to cover. The Browns' first playoff game in 18 years. We're all very, very excited for them. Bama-OSU preview for the college championship, going over the Heisman. 2021 NFL HoF Finalists was completely released in full, not just a little snippet. Soundbite of the week. Mr. Ace has Wayne Larrivee's radio broadcast covering the Packers' win over the Bears last weekend. Tee-off topic's going to be Black Monday. I mean, that's some schadenfreude, taking pleasure in other people's misery, seeing other people, how the mighty have fallen, and then we'll wrap up with Ace's Quick Six. So,
I guess special teams firing, that was Black Monday.
It's a coach still, right? So, all right. Random Rant this week. How topical is the stimulus checks? Because this is mind-boggling to me. It literally blows my mind that the same method of delivery as the last check, 9 months later, it's now, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it feels like nobody is getting them. Like, I have one person who says it's not coming till April. One person actually had to be on the phone with the IRS because they're going to send it to their old place of residence, where the last time there was no physical check. It was literally just deposited, which mine was. I mean, knock on wood, I direct deposit, and it was in like the first day possible. So I don't know. It was really, really messed up. And I'm not even going to get into the fact that, we had to wait almost a year and a half just to get $600. So, I mean, it's and just I don't know. There's a whole, just how many pages the bill was to get it passed, and how back and forth BS.
Which one, the Heroes or the CARES Act? The more recent one, I think, was the whatever. I get what you're saying.
Either way, like, it was an incredible amount of paperwork for such a little impact.
For like a 2 or 3, for a 2 or 3 hour window too before they had to vote on it.
So
we don't want to get political.
But it's just, it blows my mind like how inefficient the IRS is. I'm very happy to say that my fiance and I, we both got our cash. That's cool. I literally just threw it into the market, by the way. I didn't even, no hesitation, just not. Don't care.
You're bringing up, I want to rant now about so.
Get your own podcast.
You're right. I had a terrible experience with the DMV, so I would clearly put them up there as well. Oh, yeah.
Everyone does. That's like a big meme.
Correct. No, I know, but I'm saying like the amount of money our state has wasted on.
The government. Have you ever watched Parks and Rec? Ron Swanson rambling about how inefficient the government is. Like this is case in point. Like I've been on hold with the IRS in my life at least 3 hours total, and like only 2 of those hours I actually ended up resulting in an issue being resolved. So it's horribly inefficient, but it's just that's the way it is. Like that's how it is, man. But we live, we carry on, we persevere. Regional stuff. I know you had some huge news about your Minnesota soccer team. So why don't you regale us with the tale? Ooh, breaking news.
Surprised me. I thought I was starting with the Vikings again.
Oh no, this takes precedent. This is much
not bigger. Not much has happened. We did beat the Lions. We beat the Lions. That was
barely, very narrowly.
The Minnesota United Football Club signed Will Trapp, a 9-year MLS vet. I think he last played. He played on the Rapid, and I believe he played on the Columbus Crew more recently. But honestly, he's going to help our midfield. We already got number 6, Alonso there. Gregus kind of manning the middle there in our offense 4-3-3 shape. So I'm hoping he can kind of fill in either on a side role or I guess potentially center mid, who knows, but I could potentially shape the team a little bit differently, or the formation, who knows. But it's a great signing. He's a veteran, so that helps. Yeah, we're happy to have him aboard, and that is some good bright spot news for Minnesota after all.
At this point, you guys will take anything you can get, right?
Hey, we got a strong. It's smaller, but it's a strong up and coming fan base, I'd say, here for the Minnesota.
I would agree. Honestly, the Madison FC has their own team as well, the Flamingos, and they have a fanatical fan base. I apologize. I probably will never say that again.
The Flamingos.
I will never bring up dude. It's Mingo. It's Mingo Nation, man. It's insane. These guys are fanatical. Like it's a smaller group, but they are ravenous fans. So, you know what, soccer fans? I mean, world renowned. Like everyone knows, there's no more intense fan. Like those countries in Europe and in like South America, they will burn down villages if their team loses. Like you thought Philly was bad after they won the Super Bowl. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. But all right, so what happened with the Vikings then? Obviously, off-season began. So
yeah, they got rid of Marwan Malouf, the special teams coordinator, special teams coach, I should say, which kind of was writing on the wall, I think, at this point. Kubiak sounds like, or according to Zimmer's out with the final press conference of the year, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, basically the wrap-up, mentioned Kubiak ain't coming, or at least is retiring for now. So we have Kubiak gone. We're going to need an O coordinator. By the way, Zimmer also said during that conference that the D coordinator, basically he was calling the plays on defense the entire season and got help from his son. God, my voice is killing me today. I was screaming a lot. He got help from his son, Adam, and I don't even know the second coach, but he to find out that he was still involved with a lot of that. We saw some growth, but I think taking some of that accountability away from him might help, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Point is, I'll update probably in the next, maybe after the Super Bowl, we'll discuss kind of free agency stuff and coaching decisions, all that. They may have somebody signed by then. If not, I'll let you know.
I will wait with bated breath. You get a sip of water or something. I'll talk for a little bit. You need some water, clear your throat or something.
I need food too.
I guess we're still kind of on like a downward trend here with the news. This is something that no one really wants to talk about. I'm super bummed about, but David Bakhtiari out for the year, got that fat extension, which he well deserved. Arguably one of the best tackles in the league, but this is not the time that you want your best pass blocker and run blocker out. It's rough, and honestly, I mean, we'll talk about this too, because the Packers have a bye week. You get to see your competition, you get to see who's coming in, and they're coming into Lambeau, which is all gravy, but the two teams that, the Packers don't want to play, it's because of their pass rush. It's the Washington football team and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who thrashed us mercilessly in Tampa in October. So I mean, I guess those two kind of go hand in hand. Bakh goes down, and all of a sudden it's like, well, it's playoff time, and the two teams who scare the bejesus out of us have the crazy pass rush. So I mean, it is a cause for concern. Silver lining, the Packers' offensive line is probably arguably the most versatile in the NFL. You got players hopping all over, which I think that's the only way we draft now. And when we sign Billy Turner, when we bring in, the draft picks, and even I think Elton Jenkins, even his rookie year, I believe he played 3 different positions. So now he's played obviously every position on the line, made the Pro Bowl, props to him. Outstanding player. And I'm still pretty nervous, but I'm excited just to be able to watch a weekend of football with nothing to worry about. It doesn't matter. My team's not. It's like a bye week. It's a bye week during like the regular season. Like there's no way. I don't have to be like, oh, it's a Thursday game and they lost already, or it's like, oh, I have to wait till Monday after everyone's done playing. Like nothing on the line. Everyone can get healthy. Just gotta pray for no effing COVID. That's the only thing I'm worried about, is that they have a week off.
You read Roger's mind. I think that's what he said post-game.
That's the only thing that I'm worried about. That's the only thing that could screw us. So I'm hoping that everyone, coach, player, whatever, just don't do anything for 7 days.
By the way, they're probably not going to play Tampa, because if they're the number 1 seed, isn't Tampa? Oh no,
they play the lowest remaining seed.
Yes. Okay.
So they could play the Bears. They could play the football team. They could play. Yep. I mean, the Rams, they could literally play anybody. It doesn't matter. If the underdogs win, they'll play the lowest seed. So,
yep.
You don't think I know what I'm talking about? Come on, bro. Come on, dude.
Are
you fact checking me in my own show?
I thought you took a bye off this week. No, I'm kidding.
So it'll be exciting. I'm pumped to see who they play. I am obviously reminded of the fact of when. After the Packers won the Super Bowl the following season, they got the 15-1, got the first round bye. They came out after that, played in the division round against the Giants, just fell flat, got steamrolled. It was a horrible painful game. Just a slow bleed. So I'm really hoping that maybe they throw some of that footage in during the prep sessions this week. Like, hey, let's not do this again, huh? Let's avoid doing this. So we'll see. So it'll be fun. They got some good matchups. We'll talk about that a little bit later in Aces Quick Six. Another couple things I want to talk about. Badger Bowl game. Duke's Mayo Bowl. Who doesn't love Duke's Mayo? It's got the twang. I didn't even know what it was. I just saw the commercials, but
we gave some great pub to it last week.
Oh yeah. No, we're a Hellman's family. We're a Hellman's family. But no, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I mean, there was some really soul-sucking losses this year for the Badger football team, but I mean the defense played very well. The first quarter I was very terrified. I'm like, they put up 2 quick scores, and it looked really, really rough. But I mean, the defense, all of a sudden something just clicked, and then it just went downhill. Like the starting quarterback for Wake Forest. I mean, they are a very strong offense, by the way. I think they averaged. I think it's like 33 points a game. Like, it's a very strong offense and hard to keep them down. But, I mean, they put up 28 total, which is pretty close to their average. But, I mean, it just seemed like they couldn't get anything going in the second half. It was really rough. I mean, even the second quarters when he started throwing those picks, they actually played all 3 of their available quarterbacks. The first quarterback threw 4 picks. And then,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he got a couple of garbage time touchdowns. But, But and it was nice because you got to see a little bit more Mertz. He got banged up, but he got knocked out of the game. Wolf came in. First pass was a pick, I believe. Got sent back to the bench. Mertz came out. It's nice to see that we'll have a couple of good players coming back. Ferguson announced that he'll be back. Sanborn will be back. So, and I think we talked about before that the Badgers had a pretty good recruiting class. So, they did find another 4-star quarterback. So hopefully we'll have some competition. I love Mertz. I'm so glad he picked us. But I mean, he looked pretty pedestrian in some of these games this year. So that was pretty awesome. Speaking of Badger quarterbacks, Jack Coan, who did not play the entire season due to a foot injury, entered the transfer portal and is now going to be playing for Notre Dame. Who, I don't know if you knew this, when Alabama just wiped the floor with Notre Dame, that was Ian Book's last game. So they have an open quarterback position. So we might be seeing some more of him. It'd be interesting. I have nothing bad to say about him. I have no,
Is he an upperclassman?
I believe he's a junior, which is why he wanted to transfer. Because his odds of playing in Wisconsin again are very slim, and I think he realized that, obviously. So, final note, because we're getting quite long-winded here. We have so the whole, I would say, 3/4 of the NFL season, the Packers had no fans. The last few weeks and the last 2 home games, they allowed first responders, Packer employees, to be in the stands just to kind of make sure everything's still working. Like, hey, can we even sell concessions? Is our POS even working? Like, just a nice gesture to first responders and those in healthcare, which I know you're in healthcare, so I'm surprised you didn't get an invite. But I don't know. I'm wondering just now. I'm waiting for their announcement. Are we going to have people? Are they going to allow fans for the playoff games? You're shaking your head no. And I'm just going to quietly put the middle finger here so no one can see it on camera because I need a game. It is painful. I need to go.
It's not up to us.
It's not. I'm just saying.
Power of Jerry Jones. If you had the power of Jerry Jones, sure.
I would never want that power. I would relinquish it. Someone make this team win. That's not me. No, I'm really hoping that they do allow even a small number of fans. We'll cancel the wedding so I can get a few playoff tickets. I'll figure it out. But I'm gonna get punched. I'm gonna get hit for that later.
Fans,
for sure.
If they have fans come to any one of the playoff games when you visit next for our 1000th episode download, I will treat you. I will treat you to a night out, burgers, beer, whatever you want. If they have fans, it'll be like I don't know. We'll put a minimum on it or a maximum.
Yeah, you're good. There's the back pedal. All right.
Yeah, right.
All right. So I don't know. This is really sad too, man. We got a lot of sad shit. So I just want to brush on a couple of these topics. The Browns with their first playoff game that they're playing this weekend in 18 years. If I guarantee you don't remember. Their quarterback was Kelly Holcomb. They played against the Steelers.
I was gonna say
2002. 2002. It's been so long, and then literally, I think it was Monday morning, the story breaks that the COVID was not contained. You know, you got 3 coaches, including their head coach, who will not be allowed to coach the game. Stefanski will not be on the field for the game.
Vikings old coordinator last year, by the way.
Gross. And then 2 players on offense, an offensive lineman and a wide receiver, will also be missing the game. So, man, only the Browns, right? Like, it could be worse, but not having your coach. I mean, somebody like this will be a rallying cry. This will galvanize the team for a win, but.
Played a division rival too.
That they just played last week. Like that's happened a few times in the NFC North too. But on the more fun. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say they caught a terrible break in how this all kind of formed out. So it's unfortunate, but they want to get the games in. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we want a Nickelodeon cast, bro, shit has to happen. People gotta make sacrifices. So
the Bears. Speaking of that, sorry, I think the Bears got that. The Nickelodeon game.
Did they? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Mitch Trubisky with slime on him after he gets sacked for the 12th time. That is fantastic. All right, so we just want to talk a little bit about the Alabama-OSU preview. I don't know if you watched the games. I watched them in their entirety, thankfully with the commentating off, which was great. But I mean, you kind of had to feel Notre Dame, I knew was going to get destroyed by Alabama. There was really no question. I think the spread was even like 20 before the game. Like no one expected Notre Dame to really even put up any sort of fight. Were you surprised that Ohio State won the way they did against Clemson?
Oh yeah, I turned on Ohio State Clemson like in the second half because I didn't catch the I knew Alabama was going to blow out Notre Dame. When I turned it on and they were up by like, I don't know what the score was at that point, 20 something points, 45 to whatever. I was shocked. But I also didn't watch the first half leading up to it either. They were able to get pressure though in the second half on Lawrence. It seemed
They
like
got
more
pressured the
than
entire game, really. I mean,
yeah.
ETN was able to alleviate some of it initially, but once
Okay.
they got down so big where they couldn't use him, they couldn't run the ball
Yep.
anymore. I mean, it the D line, like they honestly, I don't even think Ohio State even blitzed that much in the second half because they didn't need to. Those linemen were
Yeah.
getting beat within two
And
2 seconds
so
off the
big.
snap. They were already in the backfield just sniffing down poor little Trevor. Like it was weird seeing the golden boy with the golden arm just getting harassed and just throttled. But
Yeah.
they kept it kind of interesting. But Fields, I mean, 6 TDs. I mean, the guy was insane. Sermon played great too. But that defense, man, that D,
I
that
mean,
D.
it begs the question: do they have a shot against Alabama? What's it? It's at 8 now.
Spread's at 8 right now. Open at a touchdown. Alabama -8. And honestly, I honestly think don't get me wrong. You have to know, anyone who listens to the show, OSU is they're like my New England Patriots. These two teams, it's like the
Yep.
Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl for me. Like I could care less who wins. It'll be a
Yeah.
good game. I just want it to be good. I just wish I couldn't see what jerseys they were wearing, or or see Nick Saban on the sideline. But either way, these are probably the two most obnoxious fan bases as well. So that doesn't help things either. But I honestly think because Mac Jones is not that good of a quarterback. He follows the long line of Alabama quarterbacks that are just surrounded with so much talent. I mean, hello. I mean, we'll talk about this, but he literally was throwing to the Heisman winning wide receiver.
Yeah,
And the
Devonta
other wide
Smith.
receiver opposite him is not bad either, by the way. Nor is that
Oh,
offensive
and
line, nor is their running back core. Like,
they have a guy named Waddle too, who hasn't played most of the year either, who's as good as Smith,
I was
the
gonna say,
Heisman winner.
he's has a very good chance of going in the first round as well. So I mean, if they can get the kind of pressure that they got on Trevor, on Mac, oh my gosh, I think they have a very good chance. The problem is, I don't see Fields replicating that kind of success. I'm not saying he needs to have 6 touchdowns. I'm just, everyone had said, and even I agreed, that Fields was saving his best game for when it mattered most. I think that was last week. I don't think it's going to happen for the championship. I think it's going to be, I think actually, I would probably take OSU with the points, if I'm being completely honest. I think it'll be a lot closer than people think, but who knows, man? Alabama might just say screw it, and we're gonna drop a 50 burger on you, and then it'll just be done. Like I don't.
Well, and I think in a way, everyone was upset about the Buckeyes getting in on a 6-game schedule.
That's
so
true.
It kind of
That's
lays
true.
credence to like, okay, they legitimately are one of the deepest teams, one of the top
Yeah.
teams. Yeah, so it makes sense. It's good to see them in there.
Very good point. That's actually, I was thinking the same thing too, but it's like you can make that argument, but the second they wipe the floor with Clemson, that's gone. Like you literally, it just doesn't matter. Like whether they deserve to get in or not, they were in. They competed with the best, and they destroyed them. Like absolutely embarrassed them. So
Well, and then I 100% agree with you. They went all out on this game. That was bulletin board material all winter they were talking about, all last season. So I think you're right. They went all out with this one and could take a little bit longer to get up to speed in the next game. I know
yeah, they got some time though. They got some time, so everyone can rest, get healthy, and I mean, if you're Smith and you won the Heisman, you can't sit the championship game and expect it not to affect your draft status, right? Like with the players that want to go into the NFL draft, like because if he gets hurt, if he tears an ACL, I mean, but you can't sit in the championship game, right? Like that. That's not okay. All right, I don't know why I said it. I rescinded immediately. All right, so we'll keep on rolling here. All right, 2021 Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists. I know that you have a little girl moment you want to get all excited about, but I'm just kidding. I mega loathe him. We'll talk about that. But the finalists are Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Leroy Butler, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Charles Woodson, Jared Allen, Richard Seymour, Clay Matthews Jr. That's
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh, so they have 2-pack.
Sam Mills, whom I don't know, Zach Thomas, old linebacker for the Dolphins, and Alan Faneka and Tony Baselli. So that is quite an impressive list.
I counted 5 that I thought would get in: Manning, Leroy, Tony Baselli, Jared Allen. Oh my God, does Torrey Holt or who was the other guy? Reggie Wayne? I don't know.
Did you say Charles Woodson?
No, Butler.
What?
Oh, Woodson. Oh my
Why
gosh,
would you
Woodson.
say? I thought that's what you said. I'm like, no, he couldn't have said that. No.
How many get in? This is insane.
I think it's 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure it's 5 or 6. So I think so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4 of them that are first ballot. Everyone else has been from previous, because Clay Matthews Jr. is obviously older. Zach Thomas, those guys are older. Barber's been retired for a hot minute. Lynch has been, I mean, he's been retired for a hot minute. Leroy's been retired for forever. So yeah, I think you have to be inactive for 5 years. So
yep,
it's a good list. And honestly, Woodson auto lock. He's by far one of my favorite players. So I went there for Favre. I got to go there for Woody. But obviously can't even seen Calvin Johnson. Like, there was a time that I would have worn a Calvin Johnson jersey, even being a fanatical Packer fan, and they're in the same division. I'm like, because I know that he and Rodgers, like, they would talk after games, and Rodgers would literally ask him, like, dude, you got to come over here, bro. You got to come over here. And even towards the end of his career, Lions fans were even saying, like, can we just send him to Green Bay? Let him get a ring. He deserves a ring. Barry gave up. He got worn down by Detroit, and, well, go figure. So did Calvin. But it's a good class, and I know that you're gushing over Jared Allen over there. I see your cheeks getting all.
Oh, Rosie.
Oh, Rosie.
Quick story. I met him in 2009 at the Minnesota State Fair after he had just signed the contract with us, and he was with this pretty attractive lady that worked for one of the news stations, just walking around the fair, showing him around, and he was dressed, no joke, in overalls with, I mean, he had a white T-shirt on. I wish he wasn't wearing a T-shirt, because it would have been so awesome if he was dressed in overalls with nothing underneath. He's as tall as he's at least 6'6".
Oh yeah,
dude. Just huge, but an awesome guy. Went over, said hi to him, talked a little bit, welcomed him to the state, and said, try some fried food while you still can. Diet restricting or before you're going on a diet restriction when the season starts. So really nice guy. Excited he's on the list. It's a tough crowd though to break through. So
yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I mean, you have a lot of the people that were, I mean, not recycled, but the guys that were brought up again.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe Wayne and Holt. Maybe they were there before. I'm not sure, but you got a lot of the first ballots. I mean, Peyton, Calvin, and Woodson are probably 3 guarantees, and then you have 2 kind of maybes. But I mean, honestly, there's a reason I dislike him so much, because every time he played the Packers, he would get like a quarter season worth of stats in just one game. I kid you not, there was a game where the guy had 3.5 sacks, he had a forced fumble recovered, and an interception for a touchdown. I swear I will find the game. In that one game alone, he put up like most of that's half of the season's stats. And then the next game it would come, and it would happen maybe not as bad, but again, like, it was just like there was no way that he could play against the Packers and not just absolutely devastate them. Like,
woo.
Yeah,
signature moves.
Well, that he runs around in jorts. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't appreciate the farm boys.
Hog tie?
Yeah. Oh, I think I did that on one of the earlier episodes. I don't think we were doing video at that point, but I think I did the hog tie. Oh,
I've perfected it. Maybe I'll.
That has haunted me. That has haunted me. Alrighty, I need to get to this soundbite of the week that you worked so diligently on. I'm very impressed with it. Ace he's quite the video editing master. But this goes back to like we talked about. This is when the Packers got that pick at the end of the game, which I absolutely love it when Amos picks him off, when he picks off his whole team. Because you remember when we first signed him, the first game we played was Week 1 at Chicago. The game clinching pick was Adrian Amos in the back of the end zone to close out the game. So it's nice to see him. He's really, that whole defense has turned it up in these last few weeks, but Adrian himself has done an amazing job. So let's take a peek at that soundbite, voiced by Wayne Larrivee, whom I've met and gotten drunk. True story. All right, here we go.
2nd and 5. Snap to Trubisky in the pocket. He rifles it over the middle, intercepted in the deep middle. And it's Adrian Amos, the former Bear, back the other way to the 30, to the 25, 20. And ladies and gentlemen, there is your Dagger. Adrian Amos, the ex-Bear, with the interception to seal it in Chicago. And the Packers will take the number 1 seed in the NFC into the postseason, and the D train celebrates. 2nd and 5.
Oh, you know what?
You're welcome.
Well, I mean, last week we had an amazing speech by an amazing college basketball coach. So we alternate. Little Minnesota, little. No, that's really nice, and I don't quite get goosebumps yet because it wasn't as crazy as some of the plays where he said that, but I mean, it gets you in the mood for playoffs. It gets you in the mood for, regular season. Done.
The D train.
You got to keep in mind the dude's like late 60s, so he's trying here, but no, that's awesome.
Voice.
Yeah, he's got a good voice. I mean, he's kind of a D-bag, but I mean. It is what it is. His wife actually got me she actually came in. We're doing story time apparently. His wife came into my high school journalism class and gave a presentation, and that's kind of why I went down the path that I did. So I do have a special connection with the Larrivees. I actually confronted her maybe 7 years later, like just as I was about to graduate college, and let her know that she put me on the track that I'm on. So interesting story about the Larrivees. Yeah, so that was awesome. I am pumped for some playoff football, and not even having to worry about my team lose. Also awesome. But there are some negatives to the end of the season, Ace. Infamously known as Black Monday. Bum. Honestly, for me, it's probably one of the most exciting times. Like I said, it's the whole Schadenfreude, getting excited about other people being down in the dumps. But, I mean, we all knew that. We all
perfect.
What?
Gosh. Your organization is just so perfect.
I'm sorry. Is your head coach almost have 30 wins in 2 years? So the cool thing is that we have coaches that you knew were going to get fired, right? Like you knew Adam Gase was going to be gone. You knew Doug Marrone was probably going to be gone. But then there's the other part where it's just like you're kind of sputtering. Anthony Lynn, that surprised me. You got a rookie quarterback who's playing amazing. The other pieces aren't quite coming together. The team's been moved since he's been there, but it's just like the fall from grace because I don't think he won Coach of the Year, but he had a very big uprising to the point where he actually had a commercial for the Super Bowl, if you recall. He literally had his own commercial during the Super Bowl, and now he's canned. Now he has no job. I don't know, that kind of caught me off guard, right? Like I don't know, there's so many other coaches that I think would be deserving. And this is just tacked on to the coaches that we had early in the season. Bill O'Brien, so deservedly so, should have happened many moons ago. Dan Quinn, you feel bad after the fourth quarter collapse and the second one. Then you remember, oh my gosh, there was a Super Bowl collapse. Oh my gosh, he does this a lot. So then, I mean that. And then you have Fat Pat, Matt Patricia. Hold on, hey, Ace, ready?
Oh, yes.
Let me get the pencil in the ear.
Rest of the show. All
right, we're in. Fat Pat.
Patricia was the opposite of Chargers, right? They blew, or the other, what was the other? The Chargers blowing games late. They were the opposite. They'd come back late, I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, even with an established, I mean, they on paper the Lions have a pretty good team. I mean, Stafford's been there since before you had pubes. Like they've had the same team assembled for forever.
My age, God.
I never mind. You're 27.
Our age.
But I'm just saying, like the amount of talent that's on both sides of the ball. You got some good draft picks, but they just can't. They can't shore up either side of that line. The weakness. I mean, it used to be the strength. The Lions D line that used to be feared. You could name every person in that line, and now I don't know. Also, I don't really want to watch Lions games because they're just so bad. Like it's really rough.
What team is the best situation, you think? Right now, because I think there's going to be some players that you're talking about, i.e. Stafford, that's probably going to be gone from his team.
Yeah, so this is a weird year because there's a lot of big name players that are in a contract year, and it also in a year of uncertainty when they're talking about lowering the cap about 15 to 20 million possibly too.
Dak Prescott's out there, maybe Wentz.
Wentz is probably done so too.
Where's the hottest with the openings? Which team would you want to play for, or which team would you want to coach?
Out of all of those coaches,
the vacancies.
Honestly, I think I was gonna say having Herbert there. I mean, the guy has been masterful. He already has 3 fourth quarter comebacks.
Yep.
He would have had 4, but his kicker sucks. So, I don't know. I think that's got to be. I mean, Eckler's still very valuable. The defense is. They've got some strong young pieces. I think they can still make a lot of improvements. I don't really think they have a strong. They don't have like the culture. Like they don't have anything to kind of unify the team. I think that's. I mean, even before they moved. I mean, there's a reason they left SD. There was no one came to the games. They don't have like a strong fan base, a strong team culture. So I don't really know if you can use. We have the beautiful. New location. We got the grand fancy new quarterback. You got the new toys, but it's like, well, now what? I love the eggshell blue uniforms; those are cool. But you've seen the Vikings change the uniforms over and over, and that's not making them play any better. So I think they have a lot of nice things, but I don't think they have. They don't have what it's going to make, to really pull the team together. And I think honestly. The Jets doesn't look that bad either. I mean, that team is terrifying to watch this past year. I mean, I can't even imagine. And now that they're out of contention with Lawrence, I mean, do you go with Fields? Do you go?
Well, have you heard the Urban Meyer rumblings to coach again?
I've heard Urban Meyer. I've heard who's the other guy?
TJ Fleck. I buried that. I forgot to even mention that. The Minnesota Gopher head coach was rumored to be a head coach.
I think you have to be good to head over to the NFL before they invite you over. But it's I don't know. That's kind of a loaded question. I think just like without thinking of anything like existentially, like anything like outside of the box, I would say Chargers. If I had to say like. Your market, the amount of cap room. If you're looking at all that stuff, probably the Jets. But that's some fun stuff we can dive into in the offseason. We got to save some material for later, right, boss? All right,
sure thing.
It's time. Ace's quick 6. We have 6 playoff games. Ace wants to go head to head. Who goes first? Oh wait, do you want to say the good news first?
Well, yeah, I guess good news for Johnny. He beat me in our weekly prop bets thing, 34 to 31, I should say. So it's he took it to me. It's all right.
I've been celebrating this whole time. That's kind of what I was alluding to before. If you're already following us on Twitter or you're not, please check us out at AA Podcast. Let me know what I should do and make this guy get punished with. I don't know.
He gets to pick it.
We don't live that far away. I mean, it's like a 5-hour drive, but if maybe he has to come here and be my butler for 3 years. I've
never jumped in a lake before.
Yeah, well, we might make you polar plunge. We might put you in a tutu and have you polar plunge. We'll see. No. But we're curious to see what you guys have to say. But let's see what we got for the matchups here, boss.
Starting. So do you just want to? I'll read off the first one. We'll just start it like that. You take who you want, and then I'll go with the next one.
Yeah, do you want to go ATS or straight up?
Oh, ATS. No,
against the spread.
Yeah, we got to do that. I think for some of them we have to. Right? I wish I was confident. All right, first matchup. We're gonna go Indianapolis versus Buffalo. Right now, I got it at 6.5. I'm not sure. I'm on Vegas Insider also. So we're going to stick with 6.5. You're up, baby. So who do you like?
Bills minus 6.5?
Yeah, minus 6.5 right now.
You take that. Oh, definitely. Bills, for sure.
Okay.
Josh Allen, GOAT. No hesitation. I'm not looking at anything. It's just all gut calls. Let's go. What's next?
All right, next game on the list. Rams, Seattle. Seattle is minus 5, and I think that's because the Rams are going to have Wolford start again. I know there's going to be upsets, but I like the home team on this one too. Seahawks, take it to the bank. All right. Tampa is actually on the road against Washington, but they're favored by -6.5. Tampa versus Washington.
That's
And
also a hard one
Washington
because
may start Heineke.
Yeah. That's
Both
another
could
question too. But even if they have Smith, I mean, the game plan doesn't change much. They're going to dink and dunk and rely on the defense and field position and running game.
Yep.
As much as I want to see the Washington football team rise to prominence, and I think I said this before too, I just want to see Washington football team on a trophy somewhere, like immortalized. I want to see that engraved in a trophy somewhere. I want to see that. Tommy in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Plus, that also possibly sets up a playoff matchup of Brady Rodgers at Lambeau.
Next week.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Bring it on. We want redemption. That's how we get back next.
That's a good one. All right. TB, Baltimore, Tennessee. Oh, Baltimore's favored in this one, -4. Tennessee's at home. I'm taking Tennessee.
I'm assuming you haven't watched many Ravens games this last month.
I mean, they're great offensively, and I know they're picking it up defensively, but there's still, you got to beat them two ways. I still think Tannehill's a better...
Tannehill's had a hell of a year. He has had a hell of a year. Nobody talks about him, but the dude is owning. So you're taking Titans? Okay.
Yes. Next one, Chicago versus New Orleans. 9.5, New Orleans. Do you like them at home that much?
9.5 points is a lot of points, and it's not like the Bears have been like awful on offense this last month. They've actually been playing pretty well. Well, you got to remember, Nagy's still fighting for his playoff life.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Packers D kept the Bears, 16 points. But in the previous games before that, I mean, they had 30, 36, 33, 41, and they only had 16. I mean, they went out on fourth and goal, and they failed. But I don't know, man. I think it's going to be... I don't want to go. I don't want to go with the home team, dude. But 9.5 points is a lot. This is hard. I don't like
Think of it like this. One of us before this is probably going to lose. So just think of it like that.
That's true. Let's do... screw it. Let's do Bears. To Bears. I mean, 9.5 points is a lot of points, especially for a playoff game. That's a Patriot amount of points.
So I kind of have I don't want to say the cupcake, but Cleveland, Pittsburgh. It's at 6. I mean, am I stupid? I got to take the Steelers. This sounds crazy. We're taking, outside of Tampa, we're taking all home teams. So we're going 5-1 at home.
I mean, historically, within the last few years, that's kind of been the way. I mean, the 1 and 2 seeds have made the Super Bowl, I think, last 4 out of 5 years. So,
yeah. I mean, outside of the Browns Steelers, I know we got to get going here to wrap it up. I can't think of any other matchup. Maybe Washington as being an upset. You know what I mean? Like the Colts, I could see beating the Bills. I could see Baltimore Titans, whatever, either way. Well, the Bears, sorry. There's 3 upsets potentially that are huge. Bears, maybe. Browns would be an absolute shocker, right?
I'm pulling for them secretly. Is that all of them? Is that 6?
That is 6.
That is 6. All right, we're locked and loaded. That's going to be a good weekend, buddy. I'm excited. Cool. Well, we had a lot to cover. It was a little bit longer show, not too much. Hopefully we didn't bore the pants off anybody, but a lot of good stuff happening, a lot of good stuff coming up. So I'm excited. I did want to mention, too, that after the Super Bowl, we will be taking a couple weeks because, Ace has things to do. He's got a love life to attend to. I've got some things I need to take care of, but... Just a little siesta. We'll come back refreshed, bigger, stronger, better. But just a heads up. I mean, that's obviously that's not until February, but we just want to get that out there. So it's not a complete surprise. And now we will do our normal, usual fun plugs that everyone loves to hear and probably already turned off the show by now. But if you haven't already, please give us a follow. Give us some action at AA Podcast. Want to hear from you. Want to hear what we need to do to Ace over here for being such a dummy and not being able to make prop bet calls. Oh, he's scared. Oh, he's nervous.
Cringing.
As always, feel free to check us out wherever you find your favorite podcast. We will be on that platform. And if we're not, email me and I will make us be on that platform. And our most recent foray into videos can be found on YouTube. But That is all, everybody. Appreciate you listening. I am Johnny. That is Ace, and we are out of here.